We have a super special episode for you today. See what I did there? Today, in honor of James Gunn's Superman kicking off the DCU this week, we are going to be talking about 2006's Superman Returns, starring Brandon Routh and no one else. No one played Lex Luthor in this.
Nope.
But before we do that, I have to pull up we have some breaking movie-related American food news for you, Devin, that I think is right up your alley. I don't know if you can see the stream at all, Devin.
I will look.
But if you can, I need you to pull that up.
Okay.
So that you can see what I'm about to reveal.
Okay, got it. It's up.
It's up? Okay. So
there is a delay, but I'm ready.
There is a delay, which is why I'm building suspense. Subway has partnered with Netflix for the Happy Gilmore meal, which if you know Happy Gilmore, like he gets sponsored by Subway, he does a commercial for them in the movie. They sponsored. Mm-hmm. They're doing a Happy Gilmore meal. This is what you get with the Happy Gilmore meal. A Subway meal. You get a Subway meal. For $1 more, you make it the Happy Gilmore meal, and you can get a cup.
I see the cups. I love the cups.
I've got the cups up here. So they have a cup of the legendary golfer himself, Happy Gilmore, Shooter McGavin, Happy's PGA Tour rival and nemesis, Hall L, the former Silver Acres orderly, and Oscar, Happy's new caddy, and Happy Gilmore 2.
How many of them do you have, Alan?
It hasn't dropped yet. It drops on Friday. That's not the question you should be asking, Devin. It's, Alan, will you go get me a cup, please?
Actually, how long are they going to be around? Because I might be able to get my own cup.
I'm guessing they're going to probably sell out pretty fast. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure.
I'd like you to get me a cup.
Okay.
I would love a Shooter McGavin cup so bad.
But yes, I wanted to lead off the show with that because I figured that was right up your alley.
Yes, I love it.
But other than that, we like to start off the show with a segment we call We Watch This, where we talk about things we've watched in pop culture over the last week or so. It's been a minute since we've done a live show. I haven't talked to you guys in a month, it seems like. I pulled up my computer. The last show we talked about, the last show I was on was I Love You, Philip Morris, which was a while ago.
What a good one to end on.
Yeah. But I'll start us off. Last week I was able to go see Jurassic World Rebirth, the continuation of the Jurassic World movies / Jurassic Park movies. The internet's been mixed on this movie. I liked it. I thought it was fun. It's probably the best Jurassic World movie. I like the first one. It doesn't hold up as much that well. The other two aren't great. This one is kind of standalone and a lot of fun. I laughed. I had jump scares. It's a good cast. Jonathan Bailey, Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali. And they do the riverboat scene from the book.
They do that. That's very cool. And I now understand that because I finally read your copy of Jurassic Park.
Yes. That you have returned to me.
I have. I did.
Yes.
I got it.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question about this?
Yes.
What is the internet's deal with Jurassic? I've been hearing people call them just the Jurassic movies. Mm-hmm. Which I don't know that I love, but also fine. What's the internet's deal with the Jurassic movies? Because the whole plot of the first one is that it was just dinosaurs in a bad theme park. And like, sure, it was a commentary on capitalism, right? But they all are to some degree, right? Jurassic World does the same. And then, of course, they change what the commentary is, but it's not different. Ultimately, you go to the theater because you want to see dinosaurs chasing people in modern times. And that's what you get in all of these movies. What are people expecting? What are people's blockers? And like, it's not cinema. Like, why?
I think a lot of the complaints I've seen about this one is there's not much action in it. I beg to differ. There is some really good action sequences. They have a Mosasaurus like in the water, like chasing down the boat and doing like Free Willy jumps, which I was like, it's the 90s. Like it took me back to Free Willy. I think people just want dinosaurs chasing people and biting, like eating people. Like, I think that's what people want, and that's not what these movies have ever been. Like that's been part of them, but it hasn't been the whole movie. Like,
do you think we could get rich if we did Jurassic Park, but like Saw? Like,
stop there because we will write that movie.
All right, we're going. We're doing it. Yeah. We're gonna end the podcast. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Ryan, you in?
I have a different suggestion for the peanut gallery.
Tell me.
Since the company that makes the Jurassic Park movies, I believe, owns the rights to Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
Excuse me. What?
That I want.
Jurassic and Furious.
Because, wait. I mean, here's the thing. They've gone to space in a Pontiac Ferrero. Okay, so where do they go from here? They can either drag race on Mars, or you can have the surviving people from this movie doing something, and then all of a sudden, Vin Diesel pulls up in his, American muscle car and goes, "I've got my family. You're fine." And then they all file into the car, and then there's a bunch of dinosaurs and cars running around. And then there's an old video game called Cadillacs versus Dinosaurs, or Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, that then they could eventually roll into this. I want to see.
I have a joke. Should I make the joke, or is it too soon? I need to know.
It's never. Okay. Do it.
Do you think InGen's how they bring back Paul Walker for the next one?
Yes.
I mean, it is basically old cloning technology, so they could.
Yeah. And I can see the reviews in that movie now. Surprisingly grounded.
Life finds a way.
Weekend at Bernie's. Dinosaurs and cars.
I've seen like Vin Diesel came out and said that Paul Walker's character is going to be back for the next one, and I just saw a picture of
it.
Yeah, no, they're bringing him back. And I saw somebody made a poster of Weekend at Bernie's with Paul Walker as Bernie.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think they're doing the same thing they did with like his brother or something. So,
sure,
but
doesn't make me like it anymore.
No, but yeah, I enjoyed Jurassic World. It's weird that it came out a week before Superman because usually the blockbusters have like 2 weeks. But dinosaurs, I enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. And I wore my Jurassic Park Hawaiian shirt. So,
you took a picture of that. You did. Yes. That's very cool.
And then anyone who guessed Jurassic World got a picture of Jeff Goldblum from Independence Day because I saw it on the 3rd of July.
I'm mad that I didn't send you something then. Yeah. I wanted that picture.
Yeah, I'll still send it to you.
Yes.
Ryan, you saw something on HBO Max, I believe.
Yes, I saw Sinners. It's a movie that I've been hearing about, and I wanted to watch it, so I did. And I'm going to have you guys watch it in the next 6 to 12 weeks, and like probably 3 or 2 times around to my pick.
I don't know much about.
How much do you guys know about it?
I know it's vampires, and I know that they got all of the costumes from Marvel because they made them for the Blade movie that they canceled.
That's an incredible fact. Okay. I didn't know that. So
this has got to be, I'll put it this way. You guys know how much I was like hyped up for Nosferatu and how much I was let down by it. I would say that this is probably the most unique take on a vampire story that I have seen in a long time. Like, I'm really trying to think back, and this is probably one of the most original vampire stories I've seen in a long, long time. And all of the hate I'm seeing online about it, I have a feeling has a little bit more behind it than the people just not liking the movie. That's all I'm going to say for now.
I haven't
but
seen.
yeah, it's really good.
I haven't seen that hate. I tune out that hate, but I've only heard good things about this movie, and I'm upset I didn't see it in theaters, but I'm excited to check it out here in a few weeks on the show. Devin.
Yes.
Did you go to the theaters?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
Actually,
did you watch anything?
I rented at home something and spent way too much on the rental because it's one of those in theaters. But I ended up watching Final Destination: Bloodlines. Have you guys seen this?
I have not seen a single Final Destination movie. But
Ryan,
but I still get into the other lane when I'm behind one of those trailers pulling.
Everyone does. Final Destination 2 did for those log trucks what Jaws did for the beach or swimming pools. It genuinely culturally changed things. And then Ryan, I remember you had a history with Final Destination movies, right? Where you didn't watch them and you realized they were kind of a dark comedy.
Yeah. I am waiting to this is a movie that I can definitely wait, for the price to drop so I can watch it at home. But it is a movie that I'm very interested in watching when it becomes available. Put it that way.
This was great. This was anything you ever wanted from this movie. It's perfect. It is a perfect Final Destination movie. They do a weird job of setting up the rules of the world pretty much straight away, and then they deliver on all of the weird, silly gore that you think they would, to the point where this isn't Saw. It's not gore porn, but it is very, very funny gore, which is such a weird word, but I think they do an incredible job. And if you liked any of the other ones, you're gonna like this one.
So I do have a question.
Yes.
One of the things I started to really like in the sequels was the mousetrap-esque way that things would happen to cause people's death. Case in point, there's one where a horse breaks free, which breaks a fence, which then the wood hits something, which causes something else to hit a pole, which then knocks over a cannon, which then wheels the cannon over and sets the cannon off. And, it's this weird, mousetrap board game-esque setup to, finally, do someone in. Are moments like this where it's just, a ridiculous setup?
In spades. I mean, to the point where one character even calls it out. They go, "Get away from that guy with the leaf blower." And someone goes, "What do you mean? It's just a guy with a leaf blower." And she goes, "No, because the guy with the leaf blower could leaf blow into the two kids playing soccer, and they could kick the ball into the middle of the road, and then you could slip on it and fall into the trash can, and then fall into the trash compactor when they pick the trash can up." And that never happens, but the characters are now aware of the mousetrap. It's incredible.
Okay, good. That makes me happy.
So good.
All right. Yeah, I've never seen a single one of these, so.
Yeah, man, these are quickly turning into some of my favorites.
Devin and I are going to change that.
We will. Certainly we will.
Yeah. All right, cool. I forget what I have next. Devin, you've also recommended to me The Studio.
Oh, man, yes. If you haven't seen The Studio, you are wasting. If you don't stop the podcast right now and go watch The Studio, you're wasting your time. It is 30 Rock meets I don't know, not Secession, but something that takes itself a little bit more seriously, but not at all.
Veep?
It is so good. It is career best performances from some of my favorite actors in this, and even some of my least favorite actors are also in this, giving career bests. The plots of each episode only loosely align. It tells the story of a new studio head. Well, actually, I think he's the head of... Yeah, he's a studio head, but he's not the head of the production company. And it largely centers around what he does on a day-to-day, but then also his insecurity with him not really being listed as having anything to do with a movie, but him being crucial for the movie and the insecurity that comes around that. It's so freaking funny. I cannot stop recommending this to you. The last 2 episodes, I don't think I stopped laughing during. It's just, Alan, watch it. You make me mad that you haven't seen it.
It's been on my list. I have it, Apple TV. I just need to watch it. Like,
listen, if you don't watch it by the time I get there, I'm gonna Clockwork Orange you to a chair and make you watch it.
Like, I'm honestly really surprised that Devin's the one giving this and you're not, Alan, simply because I listened to an interview with, what's his name? I forget his name.
Rogen?
The main guy in, where like he, like full hours long interview on NPR about the show. And the whole time I'm thinking, this is right up Alan's alley.
Yeah.
This is like a show made for Alan. And so I'm really surprised that I'm not hearing the initial reaction from Alan. I'm hearing it from you.
I can't wait for Alan to hate this. We've hyped it up too much. It's never going to live up to the hype.
Yeah, I will watch it this week. When we sit down next week to talk, I will have watched at least 1 episode of The Studio.
Good.
And if not, Devin, you can fly over here and slap me in the face.
And we'll record it for the podcast.
Yes.
Yours. Done.
But yeah, let's get into today's main topic. Each week on You Have to Watch This podcast, we make each other watch movies one of us has never seen before. And this week, in honor of Superman coming into theaters, starring David Cornsweet, we're going to talk about Superman Returns from 2006, starring Brandon Routh. A film that I believe Ryan has never seen before until now. So, the film stars, as I mentioned, Brandon Routh, Kate Bosworth, James Marsden, and Kevin Spacey as Lex Luthor. Directed by Bryan Singer. Oh man, there's just a lot of problems with this movie and people who made it. But we're going to not focus on those and focus on the movie itself. This movie is a kind of a sequel to Superman 2. It kind of ignores Superman 3 and 4. Superman returns to Earth after spending 5 years in space examining his home world, Krypton. But he finds that things have changed while he's gone, and he must once again prove himself important to the world. This is a film that I saw opening weekend in 2006 with a friend of mine and his family.
Under who? Could have been anyone.
Saw this in IMAX 3D.
Yeah, you did.
With Devin, of all people.
Huh?
And what I remember about seeing it in IMAX 3D is how shitty the 3D was. It was so bad. Yeah. But this was pre-Avatar. They still had the little icon. I think it was like a little S popped up in the corner to tell you to put the glasses on. Then there were only a few sequences that were 3D. If you look at the movie, you can probably guess which ones they were. But yeah, I saw this opening weekend. I was really hyped for it. Like 2006, Alan was like deep into Smallville, watching like this hit the right time for me because I had just gotten into Superman lore. I was watching Smallville, getting the Christopher Reeve movies from Blockbuster, and did like a whole deep dive into Superman for like 2005, 2006. There's things I like about this film. There's things that I don't enjoy about this film. But Devin, what's your history with the movie?
I saw this movie in IMAX 3D with a friend as well. I am one of those weirdos that will never really hate when 3D is like, wow, look at it coming at you. Like, I get it, and I think it's very funny. I get that it's like tacky and stuff, but I didn't really hate it. And I remember like it being one of the first movies after Spy Kids 3D that kind of had this gimmick, and I was like, ooh, a grown-up movie like this, and was very happy with it. I remember leaving the theater liking this movie quite a lot. I don't think I've returned to it since or until now, though. Nah,
Yeah, you did there.
it didn't do that on purpose. Nice.
Okay, Ryan, what was, as a first-time viewer, what was your take? What are your main takeaways from Superman Returns? Your mic cut out.
Unless he's doing a bit. I mean, it was really good timing.
Yeah, it was great timing.
Do you want me to give my take on the second time I watched it?
Yeah,
I had a hard time watching it. I feel really bad because I remember liking this movie. It's like you, Alan. There are parts of this movie I really like. There are very big parts. I'm like, that's a choice, I guess. And some of it is very 2006. And I want to talk about that too.
Yes.
Very 2006.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Ryan, tell us what your thoughts are on Superman Returns.
Okay. There's a reason why I never saw this movie. And watching this movie, I feel confident in the decision that I had when I was younger not to see this movie.
What's the reason?
I mean, okay, so that makes it seem like I hate this movie. I don't hate this movie, but there's enough in this movie that I was kind of like about that I don't feel bad that it took me this long to see it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. It does.
So that's my initial reaction to it.
Okay. I feel like we should do a compliment sandwich.
Yes, I want to
do this. So Ryan, we'll start with you. What is one thing that you liked about Superman Returns?
The world building. That was fine. The world building was good.
Okay. How do you feel it? So, being a quasi sequel to Superman 2, it kind of takes the world that the Richard Donner Superman built and kind of modernizes it to 2006, but very loosely. How did you feel it blended those two worlds?
It did the best it could do.
Okay.
With that, because I mean, going into it, I did not know initially that this was a direct sequel to like the original Superman movies. I pieced that together within maybe like 10 minutes of the movie starting.
Okay.
That I was like, okay, this is because of the music.
Okay. I was going to say, that's a pretty big giveaway from the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, no, okay, so I'm not as like I don't take cues from movie themes. So like this is a Superman movie. So I assume that like the Superman theme is going to be kind of the same regardless of like what iteration it's going to be, because you already have an established rhythm to like what like, you know, the hero song is.
Like James Bond.
So it was so like it really wasn't that. It was the acting of the character that played Superman and Clark Kent. It was his acting where I'm like, okay, he's portraying the same Clark Kent that was in the movies from the seas. So this has got to be like a direct thing. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, that's a really long time to create a movie like this. I guess they're doing their best to try to link up these worlds together and make it look like 25 years of progress went by in 5. Okay, I can totally buy that. What are you doing? I'm sorry, I have a little critic in here that's trying to interrupt me. But I mean, that part was fine. I feel like they did an okay job given what they had to work with. So, yeah, that wasn't horrible.
Okay. Devin, how about you? What's one positive thing about?
They got Lex and Kitty's tone flawlessly. That is a continuation of the amazing work that was done in Superman 1 and 2. I have problems with what they wanted to do and how it was executed. But their interplay, their back and forth, the writing for both of them was spot fucking on. I loved it. I really did. It is like that is a highlight of me for this movie.
Yeah, Kitty taking over for Miss Tessmacher is It's not. It's the same dynamic, different character, but it still works. Okay.
What about you?
I like the suit. I like the colors of the suit. I think on the poster, it's bright and it works. I think the suit itself is great. The colors of the film kind of mute it down a lot. But the film like going off of what Ryan said about the world building, it's very practical. And in 2006, you also had X-Men: The Last Stand, which was not very practical. The film does a lot with models and sets, and does a really good job. Like, there's a lot of CG in here too. Like the whole space shuttle plane sequence, that's all CG. But like the Kryptonite Island stuff, like that's all, like a lot of that's like they built that set, they built the fortress. Like, I like that about this film. Like, you feel like he's actually catching the globe from the Daily Planet and setting it down on a car. Like it feels real. You might believe that a man could fly.
Well done.
So now, something I don't like about this movie: Superman doesn't do anything. Like,
Reach, Alan. Thank you, my God.
He creeps on Lois, which, okay, he always kind of does that. Like, he doesn't throw a single punch. He only, like, he stops the bank robbery just by walking up to them, which, in and of itself, the bank robbery scene is pretty badass. But even when, like, he gets stabbed with kryptonite, he just kind of, like, doesn't, like, he fights, but he doesn't, like, punch or anything. Like, he's just there. You could take Superman out of this movie and it'd be okay. Like, he doesn't need to be Superman for this movie. Almost like it's there's no reason for I think my biggest problem is Brandon Routh is so good as Clark Kent that you don't get to see him much as Superman. Like, you get to see him with Lois for a scene where he's not, like, dying or off to save the world. You get to see him with Lex for maybe 2 lines, and then that's it. He doesn't get much to do. It's very minimal Superman as Superman. It's a lot more Clark Kent stuff. And I think that really does a disservice to Brandon Routh as Superman, because when we see him show up again in Crisis on Infinite Earths on the CW, he nails it. Like, he's absolutely Superman, and they gave him such a great story to tell as Superman in that, as a sequel to this, that it's just disappointing that there wasn't much for him to do here.
You can see, I mean, he saves things. That's like he in this movie, his main power is flying and picking up heavy things. Those
laser vision
and one-time X-ray vision.
Which
laser.
Oh yeah.
Which made for such a mediocre video game, by the way.
Did it really?
Yeah. The coolest thing about it was it was open world like Spider-Man 2, so you like got to fly around Metropolis, but it was like not that big. So.
Aw.
All right, Devin, what's one thing you didn't like about Superman Returns?
Oh, do I go big or do I go small?
Go big.
I hated Lex's plan. I thought this was so stupid. He talked such a big game in the beginning of it. He was like, "We're gonna even the odds. We're gonna do this weapon," and he like listened to all of Jor-El's speech, unlocked everything the Krypton, all of Krypton knowledge, and what does he take away from it? Beachfront property. Why was that what you took away from it? I understand making money, but like,
so I have two things to go off of that.
Okay.
It's a callback to the plan in Superman the movie. Otisburg.
Okay. Oh, right.
Otisburg, like that whole thing. Like he's obsessed with land. Like I think my favorite line in this whole thing from him is, "What's the one thing they're not making any more of? Land." Well, check this out. That's I get where you're coming from with that plan. Like it isn't the best. There's a cut subplot from this that makes his plan even more impressive. Like there's a whole Lex Luthor plan that's in the movie, but not told in the movie. So, what if I were to tell you Lex Luthor is the reason Superman left Earth for 5 years?
Why?
You guys know who Cal Penn is?
Yeah, he was the guy from House.
Yeah, Cal Penn is in this film.
White Castle. Yeah.
How many lines did Cal Penn have in this movie, Devin?
I don't think Cal Penn had lines. He pushed a button.
He did not have lines in this movie. Cal Penn has come out in interviews and talked about this, and I have read the screenplay, and I know this is true. In an interview, Cal Penn revealed he had a much greater role. It would have been revealed that his character was a disgraced former Daily Planet science reporter who was bribed by Lex Luthor to plant false evidence of Krypton's possible survival, thus inspiring Superman to leave Earth and explore Krypton's ruins.
Oh, wow!
So Lex Luthor planted the story about Krypton surviving to get Superman off of the planet so he could get out of jail.
That's really good. That's a good subplot.
That's a great Lex Luthor plan. They cut it from the movie.
I think part of this too also is that I don't think that I like my Lex Luthor to be obsessed with land. I think I like my Lex Luthor to be, and he talks about it, right? Like he has like a line in this where he's something about gods not sharing fire and flying around in a red cape, right?
Yeah.
That's my Lex Luthor. That's what I love. I love when Lex Luthor is jealous and upset about the fact that literal gods are on the earth and he wants to, in some way, shape, or form, even the odds. I like that as like a plot, and it's a good foil, right? Because he is not only a foil in terms of power level to Superman when he gets kryptonite, but he's a foil in terms of ideology. Yeah. Superman is not fair as a human being, and Lex Luthor is trying to make things fair. In a wrong way, in a villain way, but that's what he's trying to do. And I like that plot, and this didn't feel like that same... Like, the problem was never that Superman's too damn rich, or that he owns half of Upper Manhattan, and boy, do we need to even the odds. So I think that's why the plot... And also the fact of, Superman heroically flying to stop the land from growing, isn't an exciting scene for me. I want to go see Superman get ready to punch someone in the face.
Mm-hmm.
Can I throw in a bonus bad one? Stop talking about eating dogs in movies. I hate it. It happened twice. It's not funny. Stop it.
When was the other time?
So in the beginning, they're like, "What? They're two dogs?" And there was a dog with a bone in his mouth.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you meant another
movie.
Too much.
Okay. No, just this movie. Too much.
Well, wait till you meet Crypto and Superman.
Oh no.
All right, Ryan. What's one thing you did not like about Superman Returns? All right, your mic cut out again.
Ooh, this is happening more often.
We may need to get you a new mic, man.
I'm gonna get you. Yeah, we'll get you a new mic.
But yeah, that moment you talked about with Lex Luthor, gods are selfish beings who fly around in little red capes and don't share their power with mankind. No, I don't want to be a god. I just want to bring fire to the people, and I want my cut. That's
so
the most Lex Luthor is Lex Luthor in this movie.
That line, give the fire to the people, give them superpowers or something. Do that. That's an interesting plot.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so I mean, but at the same time, that's also the plot of like The Incredibles. Um,
Good.
yeah. My issue with this movie is literally everything with Lex Luthor. Um, I didn't like the dialogue. It
Oh.
was like I have seen animated DC movies with better dialogue for Lex Luthor and his henchmen than this movie had. Um, in fact, there's one part, and I really wish I wrote it down, where it was so bad that like I rolled my eyes and I was just like, oh my god, they can't think of anything. And I really wish I would have like I wrote it down because I tried to find it when I came home from work in the hour that I had to get through that movie to try to find it, and I couldn't re-find it. Just it's been forever since I've seen the like original Christopher Reeve Superman movies.
Yeah.
So all I have in my memory are like little like clips of Lex Luthor from those movies. Um, but my Lex Luthor is like the genius villain from like the more modern DC animated movies.
Yeah.
So when Lex Luthor is going off about like creating an island in land and dealing with his girlfriend, partner, whoever it is, I didn't really
Kitty.
get a jive either way, or from Kitty. Um, I didn't see that as being Lex Luthor. So like I lost kind of all interest in what they were trying to do with him, and I was just like, okay, how is he going to get, it's like how is he going to get it in the end?
Yeah.
And the only time I felt like I was watching Lex Luthor was at the end when they get stranded on the island, because I've seen stuff like that before where they'll do that to Lex, where it's like, no matter how much he schemes, no matter how much he gets right, he always winds up in some embarrassing predicament at the end. And like that's where that is. And I know the whole with like with Kevin Spacey and everything else, but before we knew anything, before he had the modern reputation he has now, Devin, this is a prime example as to why, because I know you and I have kind of talked about this before. This is a prime example as to why actors themselves rarely make me want to go see a movie. Because prior to everything we knew about Kevin Spacey, he was considered to be like one of the like real actors, and that like he was great in almost every role he was in. But then a stinker comes up like this, and this is why I don't like be like, oh yeah, this guy is in it. I'm like, okay, I'm still going to wait till I don't have to pay for it to see it.
I think with
because he's just, I did not like him as Lex.
He has that moment that Devin and I were talking about. That's like the only time I see Lex Luthor in this through him, and the rest of it's like he's just playing an evil villain. Like he's just generic evil bad guy.
It's just yeah. Like no, like Lex Luthor, he's supposed to be jealous of Superman because he sees himself as he's supposed to be Superman because of how intelligent he is. He's the one who's supposed to be over like the rest of the ants because he's the smartest one and he's the one that should be controlling things. And then here comes this alien looking humanoid that can fly and can lift islands out of the ocean, and it diminishes to Lex, that diminishes what he's supposed to be, and he can't get around that. And so if Lex Luthor isn't in a scene of a movie playing 6 games of chess at once against 6 different people or something, like that, that's not Lex Luthor. Like, the intelligence isn't being shown to show that that's who he is.
You gotta know then, because this is a point of contention. It is, because like a lot of superhero movies, right? they will recontextualize characters. They'll take some characters that give them some personality traits. Who's your favorite Lex Luthor and why? And this is for both of you, because I have an answer that's going to make you kick me off of the podcast.
What's your answer?
Okay, so
my genuine answer is Jesse Eisenberg. I loved it. I loved Tech Bro Lex. I really, really did.
I like it on
that
paper.
Makes sense, though.
I like it on paper. I think the problem with the Jesse Eisenberg Lex is that they took the Joker and mixed him in with that character too, and it just didn't work well. It wasn't.
I think I need to rewatch it.
Yeah.
What about you, Alan? Who's your favorite?
I
have a guess.
Do you want to go ahead and guess?
Michael Rosenbaum.
Michael Rosenbaum. Yep.
Hell yeah.
Just because he has 7 years of that character, and you, as Lex Luthor, you see him start off as wanting to be the good guy and wanting to be like Clark, like literally becoming best friends with Clark Kent and wishing he had his life. Like if we're talking about Lex Luthor being jealous of Superman, that's where it starts. And you see his decline, like once Clark starts pulling away from Lex, you see his sharp decline into evil and darkness. And Michael Rosenbaum does such a great job of balancing the lightheartedness of being Clark's best friend in the early seasons of Smallville while still being sinister and doing things behind the scenes and keeping secrets, and has such a edge to him that like when he reappears in the finale of Smallville, it's like great. So
it's very cool.
Yeah.
Ryan?
So my favorite isn't live action, it's animation. And it is the depiction of Lex Luthor from Red Son. And this is where I get my example of like he needs like there needs to be something showing how intelligent he is, as to why he sees that Superman is stealing his glory or stealing what his life is supposed to be. When they introduce Lex Luthor, he is literally playing chess, like I said, against like 6 different people at once, and he's reading a book, and he has a conversation with a government official, and he hands the government official at the end of the conversation that has nothing to do with what he's writing down on the note. He hands him like a math equation, and the official's like, "What's this?" And Lex says, "Give this to Kennedy." He says, "Give this to Kennedy. This will help him. If he follows this, he'll have a balanced budget in 2 years." So he's playing chess, reading a book, and he balances the government's budget in like 5 seconds. And so, like, to me, that's Lex Luthor, like evil genius, true evil genius. Not the balancing the budget part makes him an evil genius, but you know what I mean.
So we have Jesse Eisenberg, Michael Rosenbaum, and Dietrich Bader from the Drew Carey Show.
Solid.
I have to rewatch that film. I forgot Jason Isaacs was Superman in that.
I've never seen it, and you guys should make me watch it, because this feels like, what was it, the Red Mask, or the Mask with the Phantasm with Batman?
Well, I mean, do you know the story of Superman Red Son?
No.
It's what if Superman landed in the Soviet Union instead of Kansas? So
I like that.
Superman becomes a Russian asset, pretty much.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Hammer and sickle on his chest instead of an S.
Yeah, it's a very very well-known Elseworld story.
Cool.
All right, so we've gone around and done our negatives. I saw a comment on our Facebook posts. Friend of the show, Will Smith, said on Ryan's post about Superman Returns, "I found it. Doesn't hold up well."
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
Let's do another round of positive things about Superman Returns before we move on. Devin, do you want to go first?
I like the plot that they give him of needing to pick up the pieces from being gone for 5 years. I like the fact that Lois has moved on and has not put her life on hold. I like the fact that Lois doesn't leave, what's his name, James Marsden for him. I like that. And I like that she's just now like, ditching this guy. He was a placeholder. Like,
Don't want to repeat of the Notebook.
What? Is it a repeat of the Notebook?
You don't want a repeat of the Notebook. Yeah. He's the one that loses like the female lead in that movie because she, goes to someone else.
I like that. I like because I'm pretty much of the opinion that somebody who can get shot in the eyeball and like be completely fine 3 seconds later, like that guy shouldn't have a bad day. But like this is how you give him a bad day, is you make kind of a personal dilemma of him and he's not equipped to handle it. And I thought that part of it incredibly interesting.
Okay. Ryan?
I'm thinking.
Hard. There's some good things.
I've got another one.
Okay.
I like the use of the John Williams theme in this. I think it does a very good job of staying true to the world that this movie is paying homage to and continuing, while incorporating it into a different score. I read that Bryan Singer said he would not have done this movie if he didn't have access to that theme. It seems like James Gunn has also decided to use the same theme, be a little bit more modernized. It's not just an orchestra playing it. It's got like guitars and it's a lot different now, but it's still the same, like dun 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 dun. Like it's that cadence, it's that march, it's the Superman theme. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's the Superman theme. And I think there are a lot of musical moments in this that work very well for me. Partly because I had the soundtrack. This was one of the first like full scores that I had on the band bus in high school, Devin. And I would just like fall asleep listening to this because there's like the moments when he's like flying at night and like the music's very peaceful. And it's still on my playlist for like music when I need to go to sleep. Like I still have Superman Returns on there. So there's a lot of musical moments in here that I enjoyed and visually interesting musical moments, because one of the first videos I ever made for YouTube was taking clips from this movie with like Superman flying up to the sun and like reabsorbing his powers and set it to Fiverr fighting It's Not Easy.
Nice. Yeah.
I might have to find that and post it
on
my Instagram.
You have to find that.
Yeah.
Yes, please. I need to. I remember this, by the way. I remember you showing me this. I love this.
Yeah. Ryan, did you come up with one or?
I know this is something you mentioned before that like you didn't really like, but I liked how in this movie, since it was Superman Returns, and it's like, they're ignoring 3 and 4 and going like right after 2. I kind of like the fact that they just did more traditional things with Superman, with like the bank robbery, him saving the plane. Well, not really saving the plane, saving the people in the plane.
Yeah.
And everyone at the baseball stadium, because that's also involved. Because if that thing would have nosedived, you're talking mass casualties at the baseball stadium. And then like him flying the Crystal Island up, like into space. Like I kind of like that they did more of that they stayed traditional with like showing Superman being Superman and focused on like him cleaning up the fact that he was gone for 5 years, and like one of his biggest supporters kind of turned into like, hey, maybe we're fine without this guy.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that narrative in the movie. Something popped up in my head while I was saying that, and I wanted to mention it, but now it's gone. Oh well.
Yeah.
Information recall will pop it back later.
I'm gonna go. Do you guys want to do another round of negatives because I've got more.
Yeah.
I don't like Lois in this. Like, she doesn't seem like Lois Lane to me. Like, I get that she's a mom now, but there's nothing about Kate Bosworth's performance that makes me think this is Lois Lane. Like, she's not super witty or like go get 'em like reporter. Like, she's just kind of there, and it doesn't really seem like that character. Like, I'm used to, like, you compare her to like her performance of Margaret Kidder or Erica Durance on Smallville. Like, it's not even Terry Hatcher in the 90s. Like, it doesn't seem like Lois Lane.
There was a moment where James Marsden in this was like, that Lois Lane, always a mystery to me. And I'm like, are you just not asking her what she's doing in a day?
Yeah.
Like, is that why?
And I don't think it's the franking because
No,
like,
it's how she's written.
For the most part, this movie like nails the casting. Like, Frank Langella as Perry White, great Caesar's Ghost, yes please. Jimmy, do you know who Jimmy Olsen is in this? I'm gonna make you guys feel old. Like,
no, who?
Sam Hutchinson is the kid from Jungle to Jungle, the Tim Allen movie from the 90s.
I hate it. Thanks,
Yeah,
I hate it.
I like that movie.
Ugh.
Yeah. I watched that on Disney Plus the one day. I was like, oh, that's Jimmy Olsen from Superman Returns.
No.
All right. Devin, what's your next negative?
So I had said about it being very 2006. This is what I mean, because in 2006, media took this turn where we went, okay, guys, we are done with the fantastic, right? We have lived through a major world-changing event. We know how gritty the world gets. Everything's a shade of brown now. And you can see this in video games. You can see this in movies that are trying to be more dramatic. Alan, you even said it. The color palette in this movie is just so muted. And it like doesn't need to be. Like, I think the payoff for the color palette is the shot when he gets on the new island that's full of kryptonite. That is very cool visually. But like, Superman's cape is like burnt orange in this movie. Like, Superman's cape isn't burnt orange. It's bright red.
It's maroon. It's
maroon and gold, and it's a bulldog emblazoned on the back. But no, it's I don't know, just everything about this movie just was like, oh yeah, we did go through a period where like brown was the color of realism, didn't we? And I don't miss that. I really don't.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Alan, you might know this better. There was something to the cinematography that really put me off for a while. Was it the fact that in the first scene where they're in a library talking, and all it is Lex and Kitty, they're like doing shaky cam? Like, did they do more of that than there was something about like the filming style that for a while I'm like, I don't like this.
Are you talking about when they're on the boat?
Yeah.
That might just be when they're on the boat, like to make it seem like they're on the boat.
It's just like the boat
yeah.
shaky. I don't know. It seemed gratuitous. Like, I wouldn't have been taken out of the scene if like the camera wasn't doing this while they were talking.
Yeah.
I think it's those things, like those like very 2006 things that like gave me a second.
Ryan, do you have another one?
Did he have to crush the Volvo station wagon?
You came up with that real fast.
He could have put that down anywhere.
He's been holding on to that.
He could have put it down.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good car. Like, I really feel bad for the people that owned that vehicle.
All right. I'm gonna end things off with a positive.
Okay.
That's also a negative. I'm glad we didn't get the sequel to this, because oh boy, does it take a turn.
What happened?
So in the original plot for Superman Returns 2, The Man of Steel, which was the planned sequel with Bryan Singer returning to direct and the whole cast returning, Singer promised a more action-oriented sequel, comparing it to how Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan transitions away from the contemplative yet long-winded take on on Star Trek: The Motion Picture. So here's the storyline for Superman Returns 2. The premise and early outlines centered around the Sunstone Island that Superman hurled into space, the large mass of Kryptonian tech continued to grow and attracts Brainiac to the Milky Way. He first became aware of Superman on his trip back to Krypton during those 5 years in his crystal spacecraft. In one brief opening action scene, the bank robber who shot Superman in the eye around the middle of the first film would turn out to be John Corbin, aka Metallo, the human cyborg, is then defeated and Superman gets applause from the public. When Brainiac's spacecraft arrives, Superman greets him. Brainiac deceives Superman by appearing to be an ordinary Kryptonian survivor like him, asking why he has not re-educated Earth's natives to improve their lifestyle. Superman explains that he has sworn not to interfere with the natural progress of human society. Brainiac disagrees and begins to interact with various nations, eventually causing wars to break out. Superman aids the United States Air Force jets in an action scene previously planned for the first movie. This is where it gets bad.
You don't like it.
Superman becomes a pariah and investigates the innards of Brainiac's ship. He finds the army of clone bodies that resemble the Visitor and learns that he is actually the ruthless artificial intelligence that destroyed his homeworld. Brainiac has chosen Jason White as a genetic host, Superman's son, causing him to rapidly age into adulthood. Superman must sacrifice his son to stop the AI threat.
Whoa. What are you doing?
So even in 2007, they were like, you know what's bad? AI. You know what's even worse? This idea.
Yes. Holy cow. Although, you know what? Had the first one had that original plot line in it, thing number one, Superman Returns, would have been, you know what's bad? Misinformation. Then do you know what's bad? AI. Like, yeah, that's very ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Ew. I do love the plots of sequels that never happened, though. Like, they fascinate me to no end. Because, like, that would have been reworked, like, 8 times before it actually got filmed, right? Like, there's no way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But that's still so cool.
Yeah, there's concept art of Braden and Ralph flying with the jets.
Ew. I hate that part. That was us, though, wasn't it? Like, that was this is New York. You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
Yeah.
Like, this was that time.
Not even that. This was 2000. This was post Iraq. Like.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity.
Okay.
Getting into vague questions now. We talked about our Lex Luthors. Who's your favorite Superman? / Clark Kent. We'll put them together.
Am I allowed to say Nicolas Cage?
We'll do this. We'll do this way. Cinematic Superman. You can say Nick Cage if you want. He technically was Superman in a movie twice.
Twice. Okay, I won't actually, but favorite cinematic Superman. This one's a little bit harder, I think.
Yeah.
Man of Steel.
Henry Cavill.
Henry Cavill. Yeah.
You know what though? I liked him.
I did too. He was not the problem with those movies. Like Man of Steel, I think is great. I think as a standalone. When you get into the Snyderverse of it all and Batman v Superman and Justice League, there are issues with that character and where he was going with that character because they were doing a very injustice Superman.
Where are they now?
Oh yeah. We'll have to do a deep dive on everything that Snyder was planning for the Snyderverse.
I would love to hear it. I really would. This like feeds right into that shit where I want to know.
Yeah, I will send you the outline. He pretty much released everything online of what he was going to do. Like,
did he?
Lois was going to die in Justice League 2, and he was going to go dark and get the anti-life equation from Darkseid and time travel. Bruce Wayne's the father of Lois's kid. Blah 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 blah. Like, yeah, it's a mess. It is not Superman.
Wow.
Like, anyone out there who's like Snyderverse, yes, like, we need James Gunn to come in, like, because it was not gonna be like, as a Superman fan, I was not looking forward to where they were taking Henry Cavill Superman.
You know what? And I think it's because there's this weird thing that people get where it's like they keep talking about Superman as being not a relevant character. Mm-hmm. Where like the world is complex, the world is dark, the world is mean and nasty, and this paragon of good doesn't fit with our ideals. But I think that's kind of his purpose, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's meant to be this contrast to what the world is.
Superman stands for truth and justice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, and this also gets into the fact that, like, the only thing that has changed in the past 100+ years in first world, second world, third world countries, wherever you want to go, the only thing that has changed is technology and the way we communicate. That is literally it. People are as bitter, people are as mean, people are as stupid, people are as helpful and cheerful as they were 120 years ago as they are today. The only thing that's different is social media and the internet, and how easily we can communicate, and how easily we can spread negative and positive vibes. Yeah. That's it. So, like, Superman can be as relevant today as he was in the 1940s. It just might need to be workshopped just a tiny bit, and that's it. I feel like people let the negative aspects of things affect them more than the positive. And I say that as someone who is never really a fan of Superman. So, like, I'm defending Superman here, and I'm not like a big Superman guy.
Yeah. For me, it's Christopher Reeve. Like, Christopher Reeve is Superman. Like, the way he was able to go back and forth between Clark Kent and Superman. There's that scene in the Donner cut where he gets shot by Lois and, like, just he goes from no, what would you have done if you've just killed Clark Kent? She's like, with blanks. Like, that's just that's him. Like, so Superman is in the news a lot this week because of Superman coming out. Are you guys excited for Superman?
That's like the new logo too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the new shirt.
Wow. I mean, I have tickets already. I'm going to go see it Sunday.
I got all decked out. Not only just the shirts, but I got my Superman swim trunks on.
I'm so impressed. Yeah, I've got tickets already to see the new one. I'm going to go see it on Sunday. I can't wait.
Yes. I'm seeing it opening day. There are people seeing it right now, actually, because they did the Amazon early screening on Tuesdays. So
I am happy for both of you. I feel joy that both of you will enjoy things that you enjoy.
Yes. Things that bring us joy. Ryan, what if I told you it was a movie about an illegal immigrant beating up a billionaire? Would that make it any better for you to go see?
No, it's not, unfortunately, and okay. I will tell you why.
No, you don't. Need to. It's okay.
No. I mean, it's. I am hesitant because of the dude with the bowl cut.
Oh, Guy Gardner.
So so like, I get that James Gunn is pulling a lot from, like, the comic books, which is good. He's good at that. People who really like, people who are like real Superman fans are going to enjoy the fact he has his dog. They're going to be doing like a Green Lantern thing. There's weird monsters that get brought in. I've seen that in the trailer. So like, I have no doubt in my mind that this movie is going to do well and be liked well by hopefully the fan base. But I am not that big of a DC person, so when I see a quote unquote a somewhat comic book accurate character that looks like the dude bowl cut, that is a instant cringe. I will wait for streaming for this.
Okay.
For me.
Let me defend the bowl cut for a second and tell you that James Gunn has been friends with Nathan Fillion for years. And he mostly did that to just because he could. Like just because he looks ridiculous. And I think that's the character of Guy Gardner. Like that's like, this is going to be establishing the new DC universe. Yeah. It's just him on his friend.
Yeah. Okay. It's just
no, I get it.
Yeah.
We'll report back next week and let you know what we think of Superman.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, mainly because he said that his favorite Lex Luthor was always Michael Rosenbaum, so he took a lot from that interpretation of Lex. And I've really excited to see Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane because I loved her on Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And David Corenswet seems like he's nailing Superman, like the Clark Kent Superman dynamic. Because there's a scene in that one trailer. I'm like, oh man, that's it. Like that's the thing, the switch.
And their social media posts have just been charming.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Whose pick is it next week?
Do we want to go back to Ryan's pick that we were supposed to watch and then didn't?
That's up to Ryan.
I was going to go. I was going to go with my initial pick before we did the whole break thing.
Okay.
So, if you guys are fine with going from picking it up this way, it is the movie What You Wish For. It is on Hulu stateside. Let me find director's name.
Oh, okay.
This one.
So it is
Nicholas Tomnay.
Was that the director?
Yeah, with Nick Stahl.
Yes. Nick Stahl's the main is the main character. Stateside, it's on Hulu. Devin, are you seeing it on your side?
Oh yeah, it's on Prime Video.
Okay. Yeah, so this movie, the reason why I'm picking it is because I haven't had this much anxiety watching a movie since I watched Meet the Fockers when I was a kid. The type of anxiety is completely different. These two movies are completely no. I had to leave the room in Meet the Fockers. That's how I know that I'm not good with embarrassing or tense moments in movies. There were moments in that movie where I had to literally leave the room because I was going to have an anxiety attack. This movie is the closest is the closest I've ever gotten back to that.
That's so fun.
It's the anti-Meet the Fockers.
It is. Oh yeah, it is.
I love the idea that Ryan's sitting there and they go I've got nipples, Craig. Can you milk me? And Ryan's like, nope.
No.
That's what I like.
Okay. It's okay. So we will get into my anxiety with movies, particularly that one, when we talk about this. But I really hope you guys just enjoy this movie as much as I did. That's all.
Good.
So yeah.
Very cool. So you guys can check that out next week right here on YouTube. Quick programming note for the podcast. We have been delayed on getting our podcast feed updated for a few months now. Starting with this episode, we will be re-updating the podcast feed as we going forward. Because we have such a backlog, instead of putting all the episodes out at once, I think the best thing to do is we're going to drop a few extra episodes a week until we're caught
Nice.
back up. So episodes aren't going to be in order of which they were broadcast, but they'll be on the feed. So we're going to try to get things caught back up. Life's been crazy the last year for me, and things are starting to settle down a bit, and I'm getting to a place where I can sit down and get this caught back up. So please, thank you for tuning in and bearing with us as we get this caught up. But that is the plan. This episode will be on our podcast feeds this week because listens and stuff and money and things. But in the meantime, make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitch because we like to stream over there as well. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to You Have to Watch This podcast wherever you do get your podcasts. We are on all major podcasting platforms. And until next time for You Have to Watch This podcast, I'm Alan.
I'm Ryan.
And I'm Devin.
And I have nipples, Devin. Can you milk me?
Ah. Ryan just leaves. Exits the call.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Like, it's